Well, good morning. It's hard to believe that we are finally at this stage, but tomorrow morning, our doors and windows arrive to be installed. I have a lot of work to do, especially to the upstairs, to finish up a few little bits and pieces to make sure the windows install at the right height, a little bit of a ledge there to create for the door. But tomorrow morning, we're going to begin installing the doors and windows. Well, today we are installing the chimney pipe from the ground floor all the way up through the roof. We're finally making this beautiful fireplace usable. We're actually required to install this chimney pipe by code, but it's also really quite necessary because we've lit a few fires before and that smoke just does not leave the building, so this chimney pipe will take care of that for sure. I don't plan on showing you guys much of this work because it is tedious and difficult to film, being kind of crunched up underneath here. But we're getting there. We are moving right along. Well, if you remember, we left a large hole here in the bathroom, and that simply was to be able to put up this chimney pipe and be able to fit in the curve, because it doesn't go straight up. There is a slight curve, so we need two 45-degree connections to get it up, but all in all, this is going rather quickly. Oh. Eventually we'll cut this off here and then cement it in. It won't be sticking up so tall, and then we'll put back the stones exactly how they were. All right, well, there we go. We are finished. That pipe runs from downstairs up through this wall, curves over there, and then out through the roof. And then next, we just need to close that up with another beautiful stone so that these stones kind of ascend up together nicely. And then we'll cover up some of that cement work like we've done before. Our flooring package has just arrived. The truck cannot make it up the hill. There's no possible way. So we organized the tractor to be here at the same time. We're gonna attempt to fit both pallets on the tractor because it's gonna have to be a very slow climb up that mountain in order to not crack any of these tiles. Sì, contro. Più o meno. Sì, no, contro. That is one extremely heavy load. Ciao, grazie mille. These little tractors are so impressive. That is a ridiculous amount of weight right now. Well, Andrea and I are working on a really exciting project today that's going to start to use up all of these stones, or at least some of them, and probably all of the really large stones. There is hardly any space to park a car up here, or especially to turn around a car, so it's a little tricky and a little dangerous turning a car around because you're kind of doing an 8-point turn up against the edge of the road, which is a terrace and a drop off. So today we're fixing that. We're gonna make a large area for a car as well as a place to turn a car around. Right now, Andrea is digging out a foundation. We're gonna use those massive stones to build out a stone foundation and to quickly build up a retaining wall here. The reason this is scary is because if that stone slips from his grip and it falls past this point, There's nothing really stopping it until it gets down there into the trees. There are no houses, no people, anything down there. We've got the area cleared, but that would do a lot of damage on its way down. He says there's absolutely no chance of that happening, that I'm being a little bit dramatic for even being worried about it, but nevertheless, I think it's my job to worry a little bit in this situation. That is one large stone coming down. Wow, he's tipping over. He's tipping over from the weight. I just love how he carries these large stones. This stone is for the second row. He's added some dirt there as some glue to hold it all together. And we have ourselves the beginning of a retaining wall. With flu season right around the corner, health is on our mind, and considering our body's over 55% water, staying hydrated is key for supporting our immune system, especially as flu season comes around. Clean, filtered water helps your body function at its best, which is why today I'm installing the WaterDrop X16. We have used quite a few of WaterDrop's filters over the years, but this is very different. This would be your top of the line, let's call it the Mercedes-Benz of water filtration systems. So this is a reverse osmosis water filtration system. That means it's the purest form of water that you can get out. This is basically like buying mineral water, except you don't have to waste all of those plastic bottles. The reason why I'm crouched underneath the sink is because the entire unit lives underneath the sink out of sight. And then you have an intelligent touch faucet that lives up top, dispensing pure water. This guy happens to be the world's fastest filtration system. You can fill an entire glass in about 2 to 3 seconds, and the filter can filter up to 1,600 gallons per day. Now, with regards to removing toxins and water purification, this is WaterDrop's best purification system. This guy can remove lead, heavy metals, the forever chemicals, PFAS, and all of the other ones that I don't remember how to pronounce, as well as chlorine and fluoride, but it's the chlorine for us that's the big one. If I'm being honest, our tap water tastes a bit like a watered down swimming pool, if you know what I mean. It has so much chlorine in there from the sterilization process. And actually, we looked at a report for our area, and I learned that there's this thing called haloacidic acid that's a byproduct from chlorine, and it gives you cancer for one. And we have 400 times the recommended amount that is considered healthy. So from now on, we're only drinking the water from the reverse osmosis system. This guy actually remineralizes some of the minerals back into the water, both to improve taste as well as to give you back some of those healthy minerals that come out in the purification process. If you have any concerns over what's in your city water, I'll leave a link in the description where you can go and enter your zip code to see if there's any kind of nastiness in your water. I'll also leave a link for the WaterDrop X16 that we're using here, or you can scan the QR code on screen. But thanks so much to WaterDrop for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's get back at it. Naturally, there's a lot of rules about how close we can build this to the edge of the pre-existing wall. We're making sure to follow those guidelines and give a little bit of space for extra security. I know there's gonna be a lot of people nervous that we're gonna create something that's just gonna fall over later on, but trust me, we are following guidelines very strictly here. So watch how he's tipping over and then using the bucket to stabilize himself. The back of the excavator is tipping right over. It's nice to have a bit of a cool morning today as we have a couple more hours to work on this little parking spot, as I can hear Andrea arriving in the background. But I think I'm going to be focused on the windows because in about 30 minutes our window team arrives to install doors and windows.
Me lo infili? 104,6. Sarà un 74,5.
Io messo giù in fondo questa qua.
Now that is a big door, and it's gonna be so nice to let that much natural light come through.
Perfetto. Ma no, questo è il suo buono, Ho usato tutta Inter. Su.
Ha partecipato.
Ecco qui, 3 operatori lavorano. Uno guarda, due guardano. Oh, molto bene.
This is my first chance of getting a look at the color here. It's all covered up in film, so it's hard to get a sense of it, but I really am loving the large glass doors. This is for the entrance right here to allow a lot of natural light to come in. We went with a darker aluminum window to help contrast against the stones.
Andiamo su tipo 4 così noi.
Piatto come piatto, occhio. Due operatori lavorano, uno guarda, qui, guarda. Aspettare. Così tanto. Due che sono uno, perfetto. Ora.
Calcialo.
Così non riuscivo. Calcolando che io mi su una base che io ne volta per andare anche.
Well, there we go. The first doors and windows are officially installed, and I'm really excited about this. It's really hard to show on camera because we have no lights turned on in the house right now because we've diverted power to other things. And so bear with me with the lighting here, but look how this matches with the new stone threshold so well. It's so lovely having a perfectly clear view right out, and to be able to use the kitchen with that view right there with the doors closed and still maintaining the view and all of the natural light coming in. To get to the point of installing doors and windows is just a huge milestone. I could not be more thrilled. Man, it's looking fantastic. We are gonna remove these metal grates later on. Those are not needed anymore, but look how beautiful that is.
Le cappie anche la bolla.
Our measurements were correct, but the stones that are here are just leaning a little bit out too much, and if we mounted the window that way, then it wouldn't open and close properly. It would swing funny. So I have to kind of trim these windows out last minute.
Un pochettini, quindi vado a vedere. Grande lavoro, eh.
Well, even though I'm now covered head to toe in dust and debris, I have to run off and leave these guys because I have a meeting with the municipality about fixing our road. So fingers crossed that goes well, but I will check back on these guys in a couple of hours. All right, I'm just getting back from my meeting. Things went okay. We still have a lot of permission to go through, but let me check on the windows now. Wow, these look fantastic. Look at this. Oh. Well, I know that there's still a lot of work to do left. We actually have an entire another day of windows and door install, but it feels like we're past that halfway point already.
Tu dov'è che vedi?
Io sotto.
No.
Vai, vai, vai.
Sopra
Se la
c'è.
cerniera molle qua.
Sopra bene.
Se la cerniera molle qua. Ok.
Buono.
Se
Attenzione.
la cerniera molle qua. Bastardi.
Un po' strano.
Ok. Aspetta.
Se vuoi tirare via.
Well, good morning. It is day 2 of the doors and windows install, and this perspective of the house is forever changed and changed for the better. It is absolutely stunning. I love the contrast that the dark doors give to the stone and the rest of the house, and we will be adding some wood shutters, kind of barn shutters to the house on the exterior of both ends of the house. I'm not sure yet if we'll repurpose the original wood and kind of reshape them, or if we will start from scratch with chestnut and then age the wood as we've done before to match. But that will allow us to close those shutters in to have darkness while we sleep, because both ends of the house are the bedroom. And it of course will also help bring back that original barn character of having those wood barn doors on the exterior of the house. We've managed to install these 4 windows as well as the end door here. We still have one door to go up here. But as I walked in this morning for the first time, I was really taken aback by simply how much quieter the entire house now is. The reason it's so much quieter is there are actually 5 layers of glass in this window. They call it triple pane, but 2 of the panes have 2 layers of glass, and then the center layer is a single pane. And the result of that is twofold. It stops any sound from going in and out. It's very thermally well insulated, stops the sun's heat from coming in, and stops the warm air from escaping during the winter. And then finally, it's done for security, because these windows are very, very strong. You cannot get through them. You could hit them with a rock or a hammer, and eventually it probably would shatter, but it would stay in place just the same way that car glass stays in place, and realistically, you can't bust all the way through. So I've arrived today a couple hours earlier than the crew, because I do need to work on our little hobbit door here. Yes, we did leave this one as the original door height. I don't know, it's kind of cool. But this stone here is slanted, like the other doors and windows. It's slanted, but this one is slanted by a lot. So I do need to trim out about this much at the bottom of the door in order for that door to stay straight. Otherwise, it'll be on an angle, and when you open the door will just fly open very quickly. So the outer profile to these windows has a lip that extends over top of the drywall, which is why we had to rush through and get the drywall at least up, and then we'll of course finish it later on. But that profile extends all the way out to the top as well. And because the wood here sticks out 2 or 3 centimeters, we can't have that extend up. Otherwise it would cause the entire door to kind of push out away from the wall. So they actually have to cut off that top profile piece. That's all cut by hand with a cutting disc, which not the easiest thing to do, but they've already done it once before and did a stellar job, and it looks just spot on perfect.
Yeah. C'è?
No, ancora. Adesso stiamo guardando che questo.
not exactly what I expected to be doing today, but it is necessary work, especially on this door here. I was really nervous to cut this door. Didn't really have time to be nervous, to be honest, because it's the main entrance and it's the most beautiful door there is in the house, and we had to cut out a large chunk of it. But now seeing it, you can't even tell that it was ever cut, and anywhere that you can kind of tell, the door itself will cover up, so you'll never know. As you can see in the background, Andrea is moving back and forth with the excavator, getting some work done. I can't wait to show you the finished area of the parking spot over there, as well as a few other things that he's working on. But first, got to get through these windows. Oh man, look at this window going in here. That's beautiful. I really love the black windows with the chestnut beam over top. We'll have that look for here and then also for this doorway. But that's a nice look. Obviously, we still need to clean up these chestnut beams because when we poured the cement, it kind of all dripped down. I just haven't had time to do that, but yes. I almost forgot to show you the finished results of the little parking spot that we built here. For reference, the road used to end right here and there was no ability to turn around or anything. But we now have enough space to fit 2 cars here, as well as a lot of space to be able to turn around and go back down the hill. All of these giant stones, of course, came from when we excavated, and they're all holding up the parking lot or the parking spot very beautifully. I still need to come back and compact this area, and then eventually we will cover it all up in stone to be able to have a nice spot to park, as well as we will build a wooden fence, you know, to make sure that the car doesn't fall off the edge and all that. Well, that's it. All of the doors and windows have been installed, which is such a huge milestone to be getting to with this project. To be fully airtight and enclosed now is really, I'm kind of at a loss for words. I'm also just fried and exhausted, to be honest. My brain is no longer functioning. I'm very thrilled that we were able to keep solid glass doors to let in as much natural light as possible. And you can see that this style of glass also has a lot of privacy, as it's basically just a mirror reflecting everything back at it. But from the inside, you don't lose any of the natural light or the view. Then this right here, our little window seat with the view, is really exciting. Being able to sit right here on this little window seat, enjoy the view, look out, have the fresh air coming in. That is very, very exciting. I do, of course, need to clean everything off now that we've installed it, but nevertheless, look at that. The team did an excellent job installing everything. Obviously, it's not a very simple install with these stones. I did not expect to be doing that much stone cutting work, but we managed to get through it, and this is where I'll leave you. Thank you so much for watching this week's video, and we will see you next week.